Jones Intercable Sports presents IHSA Regional Basketball. Tonight from Larkin High School, it's the number 1 ranked Larkin Royals taking on the number 8 ranked Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Paul Epic along with Joe Quinlan. We are at Larkin High School tonight for the regional final between the Larkin Royals and the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks. The Larkin Royals coming in with a record of 24 wins and 3 losses. Rockford Jefferson coming in with a record of 12 wins and 15 losses. And Joe, I think one of the things that we have to discuss is if Rockford Jefferson is going to be as successful as they can be, what do they need to do to win this ball game tonight on Larkin's home court?
Well, definitely one of the big things that they've got to do here tonight, Paul, they got to hit the threes. If Spritzer and Gibson are hitting the threes, we're in big trouble.
Well, as we look at Larkin High School, the report earlier today said that David Binion and Sean Palmer both have a little bit of the flu problems. Do they need to worry tonight, winning on their home court tonight?
Well, I think you've always got to worry when you're talking about a playoff game and that anything can happen. On the home court, you'd hope that the fans will play a big part in it. They've got a good crowd on hand tonight. But they've got good shooters on this team on Larkin. Everybody's shooting right around 50% or better. So I think they've got a good balanced attack to offset any kind of points coming up.
What are the strengths? What are the strengths of both squads as they come into tonight's ball game?
Well, again, the 3-point shooting by Rockford Jefferson is one of their biggest strengths. They're hitting, Spritzer hitting at 40%, Gibson at 33%, Box is hitting at 35%. So if they're hitting those, we're in big trouble again. Of course, again, with Larkin, I think their biggest strengths are the fact that they've got good balanced attack. Everybody right around 9 points a game.
Well, in case you missed it, of course, Rockford Jefferson advancing to this round with a 117-82 victory over Crystal Lake Central. Other games in the Elgin Complex, Rockford Guilford with a 58-52 victory over Belvedere. Crystal Lake South with a win over Cary Grove, 58-44. That's the upper bracket. Let's take a look at the lower bracket. You've got Rockton Hononegah, 84-52 winners over Love Park Harlem. Sycamore advanced with a 72-52 convincing win over Johnsburg. Jacobs with the upset over Dundee Crown, 63-57. And the Elgin Maroons, the East Side school in the Elgin area, defeated Woodstock 73-68. So you're caught up to date as of tonight as to what's going on in the regional finals. We're just about set to go here with the starting lineups from Larkin High School. An excellent crowd on hand tonight for the regional final. Rockford Jefferson out of the Northern Illinois Conference. Last time they were here, they were at Chesborough Fieldhouse last year against the Elgin Maroons. Joe, why don't you introduce the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks and then the Larkin Royals.
Okay, the starting lineups for the Jayhawks, again coming into tonight's contest with an overall record of 12-15. For Coach Ed Harriman, he's going with basically a 4-guard attack along with 1 forward. One of the guards is a 5'9" junior, Reggie Gibson, averaging 12.2 points a game. The other guard, Jeff Spritzer, a 6'1" senior, averaging a little over 8 points a game. Steve Lindsay, number 33, a 6'1" junior, averaging 6.4 per game. And Brandon Box, the 4th guard at 5'10", a junior, averaging 8 points a game. Finishing up the starting 5 is Kurt McGee, a 6'2" senior, averaging just over 8.5 points a game. The starting lineups for the Larkin Royals for Coach Dom Canada, coming in with a record of 24-3. Their 3-guard and 2-forward lineup looks like this. At one of the guard positions, number 24, Sean Palmer, a 6'1" senior, averaging around 9 points a game. One of the other guards, number 20, Matt Schuler, averaging 6 points a game, and a 5'10" senior. Greg Hornock, the 3rd guard, number 32, a 6'2" junior, averaging about 5 points a game. And David Binion, one of the most exciting players to come down the pike in quite some time at one of the forward positions, number 40, a 6'1" senior for Larkin. And the other forward, a 6'4" senior, Christopher Brown.
What you see here are the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks being introduced. As you said, with a record of 12 wins, 15 losses out of the Northern Illinois Conference. With a convincing shootout victory against Crystal Lake Central. This team likes to put it up from the 3-point range. as well as getting the inside layups. They might have a difficult time tonight against that strong Larkin front four defense.
Well, definitely, Paul, the three-point shooting, if they're hot, they can put this crowd right out of the game real early, and that's one of the keys that they're going to have to key on today.
You know, one of the things that we mentioned earlier that they might want to do, too, is maybe slow the game down a little bit. Larkin extremely quick. Rockford Jefferson had that quickness against Crystal Lake Central, but that's Crystal Lake Central. That's not the Larkin Royals right now.
Well, the other portion of that is that if they get into a run-and-shoot game with them, Larkin goes about 8 deep compared to about 6 deep for the Jayhawks. So you got to figure that they don't want to get into a running game with them too much.
Here's Sean Palmer being introduced. Sean suffering a little bit of the flu from the last game in the victory against McHenry. And Chris Brown, what an inside threat that he is for the Larkin Royals.
Well, he'll be the biggest player out on the court to start the game at 6'4". No one on the Jayhawks coming in at over 6'2", so a height advantage strongly leaning towards Larkin. But as we talked about before the game, if you're shooting three-pointers all night long, even with the shots coming off for rebounds, they come out pretty far, so the height can be disallowed right off the get-go.
Head coach Dom Kamada, one of the things that he said earlier is the fact that he has 6 returning players, 3 of which are on the starting lineups from last year's ball club. We're asked to please rise for the national anthem, and it will be basketball from Larkin High School. As we said before, folks, as you can see from across the way, an excellent crowd on hand here for the Larkin Royals, as this is the regional final. Rockford Jefferson always brings a good crowd on hand for their ball games, especially now with this Elgin sectional complex that the state has initiated in Class AA. Rockford making quite a few trips into the Elgin area, and Rockford Jefferson, as we said before, last time was at Chesborough against the Elgin Maroons.
Well, as the players exchange handshakes here before the game, jumping center for the Jayhawks will be number 42, Kurt McGee, a 6'2" senior. Number 40, David Binion, a 6'1" senior, jumping for Larkin.
And a tip won by the Larkin Royals. Hornock on the right side. Down low, Palmer back out to Hornock. Palmer, right wing, up, Rebound controlled by Lindsay. Lindsay gives it over to Gibson, across the timeline right side. Over right side, long three-pointer, partially blocked. Scramble for it underneath. And they're still scrambling for it, folks, and out comes Palmer. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Palmer dishes back out. Hornock, top of the key, right side. Brown, back over to Hornock, back over to Palmer. Hornock, top of the key, looking right side. Got Palmer. Palmer, long three-pointer, off the rim. Gibson, quickly in the front court. Lob pass, left side. Over to Spitzer. McGee throws up off the backboard, puts it in. Underneath is Lindsay. Rockford Jefferson on the board, 2-zip. Rockford Jefferson in a three-quarter press. Hornock Back to Palmer to Hornock. To Brown. Crosses the timeline to Schuler. Schuler to Hornock to Palmer. Palmer left side. Hornock top of the key. Dishes off. Schuler right side. Long jumper. Yeah. Just inside the three-point range. Schuler gets Larkin on the board. It's 2-2. Gibson across the timeline. Between the rings, over to the left side. Dishes off to Spitzer. Spitzer between the rings. Looking right. Hands off to Box. Box inside to McGee. McGee pull-up jumper. Rebound controlled by the Royals. Hornock quickly in the front court. Off the post. Puts it up and in. Larkin leads 4-2. Gibson across the timeline in the front court. Right side. Goes all the way baseline. Dishes off. Spitzer, long three off the side of the rim. Binion with the rebound. Binion to Hornock. Hornock over to Schuler. Schuler, Hornock. Back to Schuler. Puts it up off the back of the iron. Palmer controls the rebound. Over to Hornock. Right side to Palmer. Palmer, long three, bucket. No effects of the flu on that one. Larkin leads 7-2. Gibson between the rings. Over to the left side to Spitzer. Spitzer, top of the wing, now between the rings, top of the key. Looks right side. Gets it into Box. Box puts it up. Gets the favorable bounce inside. 7-4, Larkin. Pressure at the timeline. Gets it to Binion. Binion has Brown on a break. Puts it up and in. Chris Brown and a balanced scoring attack for Larkin right now. Gibson in the front court. Between the rings. Goes right side. Goes left side. Spitzer. Long three. That's an NBA three. Right through. Spitzer with his first 3 points, and it's a close game. It's 9-7. Binion 1 on 4. Dishes inside to Brown. Puts it up and in. Nice look by Binion inside to Brown. Spitzer, three-pointer, comes back out. Long three by Gibson. Book it. And
well, after missing their first few shots, they've come on hot here. 2 3-pointers in a row. Cuts the lead to 1, 11-10.
Hornock crosses the timeline in between the rings. Goes right side to Schuler. Schuler goes baseline, wide open. Jumper, rimming, no. Rebound controlled by Box. Outlet to Gibson. Gibson quickly, right side front court. Pull up, jumper from the post is in. Gibson with 5 and Rockford Jefferson with a 1-point lead. 12-11. Hornock dishes off to Binion. Binion inside, finds Brown again, puts it up and in. Nice give and go from Binion inside to Brown. Brown with 6. Gibson quickly in the front court for Rockford Jefferson. Passes off to Box. Box, top of the key. Right side, Gibson, long three. Rebound off of Binion, controlled by Schuler. Baseball pass in the front court to Hornock. It goes out of bounds.
And a quick pace first quarter, Paul. That's the first turnover.
And we got 3:40 left to go here in the opening period. 13-12 in favor of Larkin. Gets us a chance to catch our breath as Gibson has it for Rockford Jefferson in the front court. Pressured by Schuler. Dishes off the left side to Spitzer. Long jumper up the side of the rim. Rebound controlled by Palmer. Palmer will let the traffic clear across the timeline. Over to Hornock. Hornock between the rings, over to Palmer. Top of the key. Binion over to Schuler, right side. Long three off the side of the rim. Palmer with the rebound. Nice scoop shot up and in. Palmer with 5. 15-12, Larkin up by 3. Gibson, left side to Spitzer. Spitzer fakes, top of the key. Looking right side, has Box. Box on the give and go. Up the free throw line. Puts it up, Rebound goes out of bounds, and it'll still be Rockford Jefferson ball. They rule that it's off of Palmer.
Palmer lucky he didn't get called for the foul over the back on that one.
Gibson has it, right wing. Looking inside. Binion covering Lindsay. Spitzer walks it between the rings, slowing the pace down a little bit. 2:40 left to go first quarter. Long jumper by Box. Air ball. Binion recovers it. Dishes off to Hornock. 4 on 2. Here's Schuler. Puts it up and in. Schuler with the break off the left wing. 17-12. Larkin up. Gibson dishes off to Box. Box right side. Back out to Gibson. Gibson between the rings. Looks left side to Spitzer. Spitzer dishes inside Lindsay. Lindsay round Binion, puts it up off the rim. Binion with the rebound. Over to Hornock. Hornock past the timeline, almost stolen away. Hornock recovers. Hornock top of the key, underneath, wide open. Palmer puts it up and in. Palmer with 7, and it's 19-12. Larkin lead. Under 2 minutes to go first quarter. Just a running shot over on the right side from Box. He's fouled going in.
That foul against Sean Palmer, his first, team's first.
First foul of the ball game tonight as a substitution comes in for Rockford Jefferson. And it'll be number 31, Eric Bergeron.
Also, Kendrick Thomas checking in for the Royals. Brandon Box will go to the line shooting 2. He's got 4 points. Leading scorer thus far for the Jayhawks.
Tucker's going to come in also for Rockford Jefferson. Is at the line for Jefferson, number 41, Brandon Box. Box, an 80% free throw shooter. Puts the first one up, rimming no.
Both teams shooting a little tight, it seems, yet, Paul. They've had a couple of streaks where they've hit them, and then now they've gone back into a little bit tight. They're a little bit short on their shots.
Well, with that fast pace, they'll take a little bit of the wind out of you. Although both teams should be conditioned due to the fact that they both like to run. Schuler with the steal. This is over to Brown, over to Hornock, and they'll slow it up a little. Hornock will set it up. Across the timeline, left side, Schuler fakes the 3. Now dishes inside to Kendrick Thomas. Puts it up short. Rebound controlled by Tucker. Tucker bounce pass right side. Gibson across the timeline. Between the rings, looking left side. Dishes off to Lindsay. No correction, Bergeron. Bergeron over to McGee. McGee back to Bergeron. Dishes inside. Tucker stolen away by Thomas.
Good anticipation. Kendrick Thomas cutting into the lane.
Here's Binion, 1-on-4. Dishes back out. Schuler for 3. Yeah! Matt Schuler gives Larkin a 10-point lead. 1 minute to go, opening period. Glad you're with us here on the Jones Intercable. Gibson, left side. Top of the key. Off the back iron, no good. Thomas with the break, 2-on-2, dishes off, Binion on the trailer, almost a slam, and he's blocked, and a foul called on Tucker. Tucker thinks he got all ball.
Well, he undercut the legs a little bit, Paul. That's where he's getting called for it. So Binion will be going to the line shooting 2. He's got no points, so he's looking to get on the board here. He's the only starter yet to score for the Royals.
Number 23, Lewis Dotson is going to come in for Rockford Jefferson. Palmer back in the ball game quickly for Schuler. I'll tell you right now, Palmer doesn't look like he's suffering any effects of the flu, as was reported earlier at the school here today. Binion at the line for 2.
Now the flu might drain him a little bit more later in the game. Right now his adrenaline's pumping pretty high.
Binion sinks the first one.
So Binion on the board, so all 5 starters now on the scoring. In on the scoring.
Binion set for the second shot, puts it up, rimming no. Rebound controlled by Tucker. Tucker dishes off Gibson, right side, no pressure. Gibson runs it up. Right side between the rings. Dishes down low, Bergon. Bergon has it stolen away by Palmer.
McGee just couldn't handle it. It's too hard of a bounce pass that close in.
Hornock looks up at the clock, sees that there's 17 seconds left to go, first quarter, playing for 1. Palmer back out to Hornock, inside of Binion. Binion puts it up, almost stuffed it. Did a little hesitation move midair.
And the foul will be on Kurt McGee.
For McGee, that'll be his first. Team's second. Send Binion to the line again. David, a 62% free throw shooter on the year. One for 2 on the night so far for Binion as Sherrick Simpson into the lineup for the Larkin Royals, replaces Brown.
Both teams not afraid to go to their bench so far. Trying to find that right combination to get things going.
They're going to need to at this quick a pace. Binion with the first free throw. Increases the lead to 12 with 10 seconds left here in the first quarter. Binion's second free throw on the way. That's in. 25-12. Ball off of Simpson out of bounds. It'll still be Rockford ball. It's into the lineup for Jefferson, number 22, Chris Bennett. Jefferson has it way over on the far side here. Tucker over to Bennett. Bennett a little bit pressure. Thomas steals it. Oh, but it goes right to Tucker. Tucker puts it up and in right at the buzzer. So at the end of one, it's the Larkin Royals 25, the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks 14. We'll take a timeout right here on Jones Intercable.
Elgin continues to grow. The population currently stands at more than 77,000. And experts say that by the year 2000, that number will move to more than 95,000. As the area continues to grow and develop, you need to keep in touch with the latest developments. Here at Channel 6, we don't just cover Elgin, we care about it.
Join John Merck here and the Elgin Week in Review news team. Fridays at 6 and 9 p.m., Saturdays at 9:30 a.m.
This is where they partied, where Denise met Michael. They danced, they joked, they did a little crack, and went up here, where she took the wrong step that ended everything. Only she doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget things, like how to prevent AIDS. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
Joe, very quickly, the scoring from the first quarter.
Okay, for the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks, the leading scorer, Brandon Box with 4, Gibson and Spritzer each with a tray, and Lindsay with a deuce, and Tucker with 2. For Larkin, 7 points for Palmer and Schuler, 6 points for Brown, 3 for Binion, and 2 for Hornock.
Saw Brown go up, missed the layup. It's still going to be Larkin ball as Tucker punches it out of bounds. So Hornock has it. So we just get started second quarter. Glad you're with us here on the Jones Intercable. Hornock dishes inside to Simpson. Simpson puts it up and in. Sherrick Simpson. First 2 points of the second quarter for Larkin. Larkin up 13. Here's Gibson, long 3 off the back iron, left side. Brown dishes up to Simpson. Simpson puts it up and in. Simpson with a delay. Didn't know whether to pound it inside or lay it up. Decided to lay it up. Here's a long jumper for Dotson. Puts it up, won't go. Rebound controlled by Simpson. Over to Hornock. The speed increases. Palmer quickly in the front court, right side. Palmer dishes 1-on-4, gets hammered by Tucker inside. Palmer goes to the line for 2.
So Palmer with his first. Sean Palmer going to the line shooting 2. He's got 7 points on the game. Rebounds are about even, Paul, and just as we said, the long three-pointers, actually it's hurting Rockford Jefferson, where you would have thought it might have helped them a little bit having the long rebounds, but they're breaking to the basket so quick. It's leaving the Royals wide open outside to pick up the easy rebounds.
Schuler back in the lineup for Hornock. This game has such quick twists and turns all the time. I mean, you come in, you think, well, you know, with the three-point shooting, they might get the long rebounds. That hasn't been happening. The rebounds, as you said, haven't been coming off the back iron the way they should be by scientific rule, I guess. So Larkin able to get those rebounds.
Well, Spritzer checks back into the game for the Jayhawks down at the other end. Palmer hits the free throw.
Palmer 1 for 2. Pressure in the backcourt. Gibson gets it inside. It goes off of Larkin.
Brown getting the hand up, knocking it out of bounds.
Jefferson will have it right at the timeline. Bennett inbound.
Larkin's got to like the pace of the game thus far, though, Paul. They're playing right into their hands. They're trying to run with them a little bit. Then when they slow it down, they put up the 3 to give them a chance at the break.
Showing up on the score, it's a 16-point Larkin lead as Dotson dribbles it right out of bounds. Dotson looking for Bennett. Either Bennett or Spitzer to cut in. And the ball just dribbled out of bounds. Here's Schuler. Crosses the timeline between the rings. Schuler, top of the key, dishes off right side to Simpson. Simpson underneath to Thomas. Thomas puts it up. Bennett, nice save right on the baseline. Gets it over to Spitzer. Spitzer inside to Tucker. Tucker gets it rejected by Brown.
That gets the crowd back into the game.
6:35 left to go in the half. 30-14, Larkin up on top. Inbounds to Dotson. Dotson between the rings. Looking left side. If we have time, we'll update you on the Rock Island sectional. Long jumper from Gibson on the right side. Gibson with a tray.
Gibson's second three-pointer. He's got 6 on the game.
Schuler over to Thomas left side. Inside Schuler puts it up. Rebound Simpson. Yeah, Simpson all alone inside. Simpson with 6 on the night. Gibson trots it up for Rockford Jefferson right side. Bounce pass down low to Dotson. Dotson hands it out to Spitzer. Wide open Gibson left side. Air ball. And they're going to call a foul inside.
Push off underneath. I couldn't tell whether it was 33 Lindsay. No, 22. Chris Bennett called for the foul. That's the team's 4th foul.
David Binion back in the lineup for the Larkin Royals. Considering the pace of the ball game, relatively few fouls. 4 for Rockford Jefferson. Only 1 called against the Larkin Royals. That to Sean Palmer. Larkin with the ball. Up by 15 with 5:40 left to go first half. Long jumper for Schuler. Right side is in. 3-pointer for Schuler.
Schuler was looking for somebody cutting across the lane. They dropped off of him. He had it wide open, said, oh, to heck with it. I'll take the shot.
Gibson top of the key. Over to Spitzer. Spitzer dishes over to Gibson. Gibson left baseline, now between the rings. Over to Box. Box almost pushed off. It looked like he pushed off his left arm. Puts it up. Binion with the rebound. Binion trots it up over to Simpson. Simpson right baseline. Dribble between the legs. Puts it up and in. Dribble right around Gibson and put it in.
Sherrick Simpson with 8 points here in the second quarter. And I was going to say it's about time for a timeout.
Timeout on the court with 5:01 remaining to go first half. We'll keep it right here. It's 37-17 Larkin. As long as we got this timeout, let me update you on what happened in the Rock Island sectional. The winner of this sectional complex in Elgin will face the winner of the Rock Island sectional at the Rockford Metro Center. Hopefully we'll be there to bring you the Larkin Royals or the Elgin Maroons as they progress to that level. Let's bring you up to date. Rockford Boylan defeated Dixon 100-63. Rockford Boylan, the #1 seed. Moline defeated Rock Island 70-64. Geneseo Darnell 71-52 winners over Streeter. East Moline United, always a tough team, ranked #5, defeated Freeport 70-57. LaSalle Peru, the #2 team, almost got upset by Sterling 77-73. Sterling, the #15 seed. DeKalb out of the Upstate 8, just made it by Rock Falls in overtime 55-54. DeKalb ranked #7 in that sectional. Then you got Rockford Auburn over Rockford East 56-52, and Rochelle defeated Ottawa 64-57. So tonight it'll be Rockford Boylan against Moline and LaSalle Peru against DeKalb. A tough game for the DeKalb Barbs. Here's the inbounds pass, almost stolen away. Let's see which way they call it. They're going to call it towards Rockford Jefferson.
Neither referee picking up on that as to what they needed to call, so they just went with it.
Fitz inbounds it over to Gibson. Gibson will trot it up. The pace slowing down a little bit. Gibson looks right side, has Box. Box has the baseline, decides to cut inside. Wild shot up. Rebounds controlled by McGee. McGee gets it blocked. Simpson gets it over to Schuler. Schuler right side. Schuler traveled. Dribble between 2 defenders.
It's only about the second turnover. We don't have that stat here, but I believe that's just the second turnover by Larkin.
It's another surprise. There aren't too many turnovers in this ballgame considering the pace that it's been played at.
Those that have been have all been committed by the Jayhawks. Tenacious defense by the Royals thus far.
They're going to call a foul on Schuler right at the timeline. For Schuler, that's his first, only the second team foul against the Larkin Royals.
Schuler a little over-aggressive, going for the steal. Got on the top of the back of him. Checking in now, number 32. We don't have it. There it is. Greg Hornock back into the game.
Gibson walks it up, pressured by Hornock between the rings. Gets it over to the left side to McGee. Down low, Spitzer. Spitzer back out to Pitts. Pitts dribbles, left side, puts it up, and gets the nice roll inside. Pitts, that's his first 2 points of the ball game. 37-19, Larkin with a commanding lead. Under 4 minutes to go first half. Hornock gets the ball tapped away. Here's Gibson. Gibson left side, puts it up and in. Gibson with 10.
Larkin a little lazy that last time down, a lazy pass stolen away. Got to be able to protect the ball better than that, otherwise this lead will diminish quickly.
Simpson puts it up, he gets his own rebound, puts it in. That's one of the things about Larkin. They have a tendency of having one quarter where they fall asleep. You can't have that at this level of competition. Pitts dishes back over. Long shot by McGee, Rebound control by Kendrick Thomas. Thomas over to Hornock. Hornock looks over to head coach Dom Canada. Calls the play. Hornock at the left post over to Palmer. Palmer for three. Yes! Sean Palmer doubles. Rockford Jefferson score. It's 42-21. Elgin over Rockford. Ball out of bounds off of a Larkin ball player. And that was Kendrick Thomas. Inbounded by Jefferson now.
Nearly a steal. Thomas cutting in front, got the hand on it, but couldn't control his own body momentum, was taking him out of bounds.
Lindsay back in the lineup for Brandon Box. Box will grab a seat. Lindsay inbounds it to Gibson. 2:45 remaining first half. Lindsay right side. Over to Pitts between the ring. Pitts lob pass over to Gibson right side. Gibson dishes in, gets inside the paint, puts it up. Scramble for it, and which way? It's out of bounds to Larkin.
Steve Lindsay going for the loose ball underneath, stepped on the baseline right in front of the referee. The referee almost getting in the way of the play.
Number 15, Mike Winters into the lineup for Rockford Jefferson. Pressures Hornock at the timeline. Hornock between the rings, left side. Bounce pass over to Palmer. Palmer down low, inside Binion. Binion puts it up. Nice. David Binion, 44-21, Larkin up.
Binion with 5, that's his first field goal.
Winters getting pressured by Hornock, left side, over to Spitzer. Spitzer over to McGee, top of the key, over to Pitts. Pitts dribbles inside free throw line. Over right side to Spitzer. Spitzer lets the traffic clear, puts it up. Nice shot off the backboard. Spitzer with 5, 44-23, Larkin up.
Kendrick Thomas getting away with a little bit of a body on that one.
Threw the whole body at him. Palmer, almost a block shot by Spitzer, but Palmer still puts it in for 3. 47-23, Larkin up. Winters across the timeline, over left side to Spitzer. Spitzer back out to Winters. Winters gets inside the paint, dishes up, foul call.
Sherrick Simpson, I believe, going to be hit with that foul. The fans don't like it at all.
Simpson even thought he got all ball. Kendrick Thomas voted for that call too, that he thought he got all ball. Some substitutions into the lineup. Number 34 for Larkin, that's Dan Engel. Also Matt Schuler back in the lineup.
I'll tell you, so far though, Paul, Sean Palmer with the effects of the flu, he has only got 14 points in the first half. I think Dom Canada is going to put him outside in the cold weather every day before a game from now on.
Winters at the line. Puts it up and in. Into the lineup, Jason Olson, 6'5", sophomore. In the lineup for Ed Harriman's Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks. Winters at the line for the second shot. Puts it up, 47-25, Larkin up. Larkin will walk it up. Matt Hornock calls the play. Greg Hornock, I should say. Greg Hornock, right side, puts it up and in. Hornock called his own number, 49-25, just over a minute left. Winters between the rings. Dishes off left side, stolen away by Engel. Oh, it goes out of bounds, and they're going to call a foul. Foul on Rockford Jefferson.
Lucky break there for Larkin with the foul because Engel could not get his balance. Then he just got an extra little push.
It's only the 15th foul for Jayhawks, so consequently Larkin will inbound it off the sideline there. Hornock, right side, over to Schuler. Schuler, baseline. Dribbles around his defender, puts it up in traffic. Rebound controlled by Lindsay. Lindsay quickly to Winters, left side. Winters will back it out. Over to Pitts. Pitts puts it up. Rebound. Here's Simpson. Everybody up. Simpson. No. On the jam. Missed it.
Started his jump a little bit early.
Lindsay. Rebound. Now the game's starting to get sloppy a little bit. Hornock pressured in the backcourt. Over to Schuler. Schuler back to Hornock. Looks up at the clock. He sees 15 seconds left. Hornock between the rings comes right side to Simpson. Simpson pressured by Pitts. Back out to Schuler. Schuler gets it tapped away by Spitzer. Spitzer looks for the trailer. It is not there. Spitzer puts it up and in. Winters a little bit late on the trailers. And the final shot of the ball game in the first half for Engel goes up short. And we are at halftime. The crowds give these teams a standing ovation as the Larkin Royals with a commanding 22-point lead, 49-27. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be back with third quarter action in a few moments.
Esta noche, Dolores bebió, fumó crack y se convirtió en otra estadística trágica. Pero todavía...
Larkin High School, we're at halftime, and it's 49-27, Larkin over Rockford Jefferson. And Joe, let's have the first half stats for us.
Okay, quickly, for the Jayhawks, the leading scorer is Reggie Gibson with 8 points, followed by Jeff Spritzer with 7, Brandon Box with 4, and then a bunch of players with 2. Lindsay, Winters, Pitts, and Tucker each with 2 points for their 27. For the Larkin Royals, the leading scorer, the Blue Bug Meister himself, Sean Palmer with 14. Matt Schuler, along with Sherrick Simpson, chipping in with 10 apiece. David Binion with 5. Christopher Brown with 6. And Greg Hornock with 4. So a good balanced attack from the Larkin Royals for their 49 points, giving them a 22-point advantage as we go into the second half, Paul.
Well, Paul Lepic along with Joe Quinlan. We're glad to have you with us here on the Jones Intercable. Want to say a great thank you to the athletic director, Jim Teresi from Rockford Jefferson High School, for giving us some of their stats on a last-minute notice, considering that there wasn't that much time between these two ball games. The one that you saw previous when Larkin beat McHenry, and then this one here, same thing for Rockford Jefferson, as both teams get into their huddle.
Paul, as we talked about before the game, the rebounding and height advantage really coming into play. The Larkin Royals holding an advantage unofficially with a 17-11 lead in the rebounds. Turnovers have killed the Jefferson Jayhawks. They've just been manhandled by the defense, the swarming defense of the Larkin Royals, that caused them to turn the ball over quite a few times.
As we're just about set to go, second half action. Hornock will inbound to Schuler, back to Hornock as we start the third quarter. Larkin up 49-27. Hornock, left side Schuler, back over to Hornock. Starting lineups for both squads as we start the third. Palmer dishes down low, intercepted. Nice play by Tucker. Correction on Rockford Jefferson. Tucker didn't start that first half. Gibson into the front court. Dishes off to Spitzer between the rings. Right side to Box. Box over to McGee. McGee over to Spitzer. Spitzer back out to Gibson. They're slowing it up, doing the weave. Gibson looks right side, comes back left to Spitzer. Spitzer guarded by Hornock. Gets it down low to Gibson. Gibson tries to go baseline. Dishes off the box. Box puts it up. Rebound controlled by Hornock. Quickly over to Binion. Binion puts it up, gets blocked by Spitzer, but a foul call.
Well, for Spitzer, that'll be his second. That first possession by the Jayhawks showing a lot of patience. I'm sure that's one of the things that Coach Harriman was talking about. They need to slow the tempo down a lot from the first half to try to just whittle away at this lead, get back into the ball game.
Larkin outscored Rockford Jefferson by 12 each of the first two quarters. Binion at the line. It's the first shot up and in. Binion, as we mentioned earlier, a 62% free throw shooter. Shooting pretty well tonight.
The first point of the second half. A minute into the second half, we finally have our first basket. Comes from the free throw line.
Binion, second shot off the back iron, but Palmer, they're going to rule that Palmer's pushed off to get that rebound, and he'll get the foul.
A little bit of acting job by Lindsay underneath, got out of the way. Or correction, not Lindsay, but Tucker with the acting job. Gets the call.
Tucker to inbound, gets it over to Gibson. Gibson getting pressure, double team the backcourt, gets it inside, but Palmer with the steal. Palmer dishes off up ahead, Gibson with the steal. Gibson dishes off left side, Spitzer, long three-pointer, yep.
They give it to him, he was on the line, neither ref in a position to see it, but that toe hit the line. They give him the three-pointer.
Palmer, cross-court pass to Schuler. Schuler back over to Hornock between the rings. Hornock dishes low to Binion. Binion free throw line, gets it stolen by Tucker, but a reach-in foul. Called on Tucker.
Well, for Tucker, that is his third. A good call by the referee. Binion just turned around and caught an elbow as Tucker took the ball away from him.
Larkin ball underneath their own basket. Gets it over to Palmer. Dishes down low to Brown. Brown lays it up and in. Nice play by Brown amid traffic.
Pretty pass by Hornock as well, feeding him inside.
Gibson, between the rings, calls the play. Spitzer comes back out. Over to McGee, left side. McGee dishes down low to Spitzer. Spitzer fakes the three, dishes it back out to Tucker. Tucker has it controlled by Box. Box over to Gibson. Three-pointer right side is in, and a foul called. Kind of an unusual play here in that it's going to be a 4-point play. Gibson making the tray.
I didn't see who the foul was called on there, Paul. I couldn't tell. So Matt Schuler hit with his second personal foul. Looked like he waved and caught nothing but air. They call him for a foul.
Gibson with the free throw in. 52-34, an 18-point Larkin lead. Just under 6 minutes to go, third quarter. Schuler looking for Brown between the rings, and right through his hands and intercepted by Jefferson. And here's Gibson in the front court. Gibson between the rings. Looks left side. McGee's getting covered. Now has Box. Box trots it up between the rings. Nice pressure by Palmer. Box gets the screen, puts it up and in.
The Jayhawks doing a nice job of controlling the tempo early in the third quarter. They know they've got to get this game down to single digits by the end of the third to really have any kind of a chance.
A real controlled offense for the Jayhawks. 52-36 now, a 16-point lead. Palmer for three, rimming up. Brown puts it up, and a foul called inside. And that looks like it's going to be on Larkin. It'll be on Greg Brown.
So Chris Brown with his first personal foul.
Simpson back in the lineup for the Larkin Royals. Chris Brown with the foul. Apologize to Chris and his family. McGee, pressured by Brown in the backcourt. Gets it over to Gibson. Gibson crossed the timeline. Nice pressure by Brown. Gibson dishes off to McGee. McGee holds it for Brown. Brown will set the tempo again. Very deliberate offense now for the Jayhawks as we start this third quarter. Just under 5 minutes left to go in the third. McGee, cross-court pass stolen by Simpson. Simpson has the left side, puts it up and in. Simpson beat McGee to the hoop.
Smart decision by Sherrick Simpson, seeing the defense collapsing on him at that point, decided rather than going for the dunk, he went with the layup.
Spitzer long three, off the back iron, rebound controlled by Binion. Binion up ahead to Harnack, just slightly overled him. Controlled by Spitzer. Spitzer quickly in the front court to Box. Box long three. Rebound. Binion with the one-handed rebound. Over to Brown. Brown right left side puts it up and in with the reverse.
Nice move. Brown with 10.
Simpson into the front court quickly for the Jayhawks. Simpson cross-court pass to McGee. McGee left baseline puts it up. Rebound. Slapped down hard. Binion controls it. 2-on-2. Left side Palmer. Palmer puts it up. Stolen away. Out of bounds. It'll still be Larkin ball. Ball off of Tucker.
Now Larkin's picking up the pace here a little bit. Noticing that the pace was being controlled by the Jayhawks, they decided to turn it up a notch. They've gone on 6 unanswered now.
Harnack. Left side. Rebound. Simpson all alone puts it in. 58-36, 22-point lead. Here's a three for Spitzer off the front of the rim. Rebound controlled by Binion. Binion dishes over to Harnack. Harnack bounce pass kicked away by McGee.
Binion unofficially with 8 rebounds, 4 here in the third period already.
Into the lineup for Jefferson is Jason Olson. Finally, the referee recognizes that Olson wants to come into the lineup. That's the reason for the buzzer.
The one referee had to run down behind the bleachers to get the ball after it rolled off up the court. The other referee wasn't paying attention to the buzzer.
Harnack inbounds it at the three-quarter court. Has the ball. And a foul is going to be called on Brandon Box on the left side there.
Box reaching in, going for the steal. That'll be the third team foul. So team fouls even at 3 apiece now in the second half.
That's Box's first personal. Harnack has it far left side over to Palmer, back to Harnack. Harnack between the rings goes left side to Palmer. Palmer left baseline. Lob pass inside to Binion, stolen away. Here's Spitzer. Spitzer 2-on-2. He'll back it out. Over to Gibson. Gibson long tree. Yep. Gibson 58-39 now. Larkin up by 19.
Gibson with 15. That's his 4th three-pointer.
Harnack over to Palmer, down low to Simpson. Simpson back out to Harnack. Harnack down low right side to Simpson, inside to Binion. Binion puts it up and it's blocked away by Olson. They're going to call Olson on the foul. For Olson, that's his first, the team's 4th. Sending David to the line again.
Number 11, Binion at the line. For 2,
Kendrick Thomas back in the lineup for the Royals as Palmer will grab a seat. In case you're wondering where John Mercure is, he's on a personal assignment. He'll be back with us the next game, hopefully, if the Larkin Royals can get past these Jayhawks. Bennett back in the lineup as Tucker grabs a seat. Binion at the line for 2.
Binion with 6 points, just 1 field goal to his credit thus far.
Puts it up, rimming, no. Binion 62% as we've been saying off the charity stripe. Binion with his second free throw can extend the lead to 20. And it is 59-39.
Binion now 5 for 8 from the free throw line.
Box down low right side, puts it up off the back of the rim, no good. Brown, long baseball pass over to Binion. Binion lets the traffic clear, lays it up and in. Nice pass by Brown to find Binion down low. Quickly, Jefferson in the front court. Bennett, left side. Gets it back over to Spitzer. Spitzer gets it back to Bennett, now between the rings. Hands it over to Gibson. Gibson top of the key. Comes left side, dishes down low to Spitzer, and they're going to call a foul inside.
Sherrick Simpson's going to be called for the push. think the teams are getting a little bit tired, a little sloppy fouls here in the third period.
Simpson, that'll be his second personal, the third team foul against the Royals. Greg Ziesmer in the lineup for the Larkin Royals. Ziesmer, a good product off the bench. Thomas with the steal of the inbound. Gets it over to Hornock.
Good defense by the Royals on the inbounds pass. Finally, he had to throw it up. Thomas right there to grab it.
Hornock down low to Simpson, over to Ziesmer. Ziesmer triple team, stolen away by Gibson. Gibson over to the center of the court to Bennett. Bennett across the timeline, right side, over to Box. Box to Bennett. Bennett inside, gets hammered by Ziesmer inside, sending Bennett to the line.
Chris Brown upset with Ziesmer there. He got all ball, and Ziesmer got him with the body. Brown was all set for the break.
Bennett will be at the line.
Bennett, no points on the game thus far. Will get 2 free throws here. Hits the back iron, no good.
Coming into the ball game for the Jayhawks, number 23, Lewis Dotson. Saw some action in the first half. Bennett, the line for his second shot. Rimming, yep. Bennett gets on the board at 61-40, under 2 minutes now left to go here, third quarter. Schuler across the timeline, into the front court. Now gets the Hornock between the rings, left side to Thomas. Thomas cross court pass to Schuler. Schuler quickly to Hornock, top of the key. Hornock dishes inside the paint, puts it up. Simpson with the layup off the rebound. Quickly into the front court, an errant pass by the Jayhawks. Bennett looking down low for Lindsay. The pass goes out of bounds, and 1:17 left to go. As Palmer back in the lineup for Hornock.
And the Jayhawks have fallen back into the same trap. They're falling into the Royals' hands here, trying to play a speed-up game. They had cut the lead down to about 13 for a while, and now it's back up to 23.
Schuler over to Palmer. Palmer back over to Schuler. Schuler right side to Palmer. Palmer way out high. Over to Thomas. Thomas between the rings. Almost gets it stolen by Gibson. Down low to Simpson. Finally controls the pass. Over to Schuler. Three-pointer. Rimming. No. Rebound. Yeah. Now what are they going to call? It should be interference.
Got to be goaltending. Kendrick Thomas, as he went up for the rebound, grabbed the net underneath. So it'll be offensive goaltending, I'm sure.
Basket's good. They're going to call a technical foul on grabbing of the rim.
That basket shouldn't count, I don't believe, Paul, but they're going to give it to him. Kendrick Thomas, that's his first 2 points.
Well, kind of interesting here, as because Thomas grabbed the rim, the Jayhawks. Gibson at the line, first free throw, Now the refs are called over to the scorer's table to try to straighten things out. The scorer seems to be a little bit unclear as to what was going on.
Probably wanted to see who to give the technical to. It's got to be on Kendrick Thomas.
Gibson's second free throw is in. 65-41. That puts Jefferson in the bonus, as now Jefferson has the ball off the technical. Bennett between the rings. Over to Lindsay. Lindsay, top of the key, working his way right side. Over to Dotson. Back over to Gibson. Puts it up. Rebound controlled by Schuler. Schuler clears out. 4 on 3 if he hurries, but he backs it out. Schuler at the timeline over to Thomas. Thomas gets the pass blocked. Thomas saves it. That's double team in the backcourt, and they're going to call a foul on Dotson reaching in.
Well, once again, we get down to the waning seconds of a quarter, and we get some sloppy passing from the Royals. It's led to 2 easy buckets for the Jayhawks at the end of the first 2 periods. We almost had our 3rd time in a row.
It's like they can't stand prosperity sometimes. Schuler into the front court. Over to Ziesmer. Ziesmer. Pass back out to Schuler. Schuler right side to Palmer. Palmer pecked away by Olsen. Puts it up. Gets hammered going in. They're going to call it on Lindsay.
It's either Lindsay or Olsen, but it will be Lindsay, and that is his first. Palmer will go to the line. So Palmer, after a hot first half with 14 points, goes to the line to try to get on the board here in the second half.
Palmer, a 75% free throw shooter, misses the first one. I know I shouldn't have said that. 5 seconds left to go. And it's a lane violation called against the Royals. I think it was Sherrick Simpson that entered into the paint. So the ball goes over to the Jayhawks with 3 seconds left. Long jumper by Dotson. Rebound control by Schuler, but that's it for the third quarter. With the score, the Larkin Royals 65, the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks 41. We'll be back with fourth quarter action on the Jones Intercable.
Coming up this Sunday evening, an event you won't want to miss. Walter Cronkite will anchor a presidential candidate forum on Channel 12, the Discovery Channel, here on Jones Intercable in Elgin. The event runs from 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, and it's a historic television event. This Sunday only, no commercial interruptions. Every presidential candidate has been invited to speak. This Sunday, Channel 12, 6 to midnight, a presidential forum. Elgin continues to grow. The population currently stands at more than 77,000. And experts say that by the year 2000, that number will move to more than 95,000. As the area continues to grow and develop, you need to keep in touch with the latest developments. Here at Channel 6, we don't just cover Elgin, we care about it.
Join John Mercure and the Elgin Week in Review news team. Fridays at 6 and 9 p.m., Saturdays at 9:30 a.m.
And we're back with fourth quarter action at Larkin High School. Larkin with a 65-41 advantage. Glad to have you with us here tonight on the Jones Intercable. I'm Paul Lepic along with Joe Quinlan, bringing you the action here in the regional final. Final 8 minutes to go. Jayhawks with the ball as we start the fourth quarter. Gibson crosses the timeline into the front court. Pressured by Schuler. Free throw line, dumps it off left side to Dotson. Dotson, baseline, comes back out, hands it to Gibson. Back over to Dotson between the rings. Pressured by Palmer. Dotson, left post. Ball goes out of bounds. Looks like it was off of Schuler. Big Jayhawk ball. Gibson over to Dotson. Dotson, right post. Runs right into Ziesmer, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Ziesmer.
Well, even though the fans don't like it, Ziesmer did not get his feet planted with the second to go. He's got to give him a step.
Yep. Exactly right. He almost got there. Almost, but not quite. That's his second personal. It's going to send Dotson to the line.
Call that a shooting foul, Paul?
Yeah, because he was coming inside the paint to put up the jumper. And Ziesmer, they rule, undercut him. So Dotson at the line, gets the first one. Harnock back in the lineup, and Kendrick Thomas comes out. I'll say it yet. Get it right. Dotson at the free throw line. Made the first. And makes the second. Cuts the lead to 22. 65-43. Larkin up on top. Harnock into the front court. Over to Ziesmer. Back over to Harnock. Left side. Puts it up and in. What a shot by Schuler. Schuler double pump. Put it up and in.
Something that you don't practice very often. That one there, just sheer athletic ability on Matt Schuler. A double pump while he's in the air. A guy hanging all over him puts it through. Schuler with 12 points.
Lindsay's going to grab the foul as David Binion comes back into the lineup. Sherrick Simpson sits down as Schuler will complete the three-point play here.
Crowd's been relatively quiet except for a couple of outbursts when we've had something exciting happen. This game has been pretty much all Larkin from the get-go.
Although in that third quarter, Larkin only played him up 2. Larkin 16 Rockford Jefferson 14 on that third quarter totals. Dotson now over to Gibson, top of the key. Gibson works his way inside. Double pump, puts it up and in. 67-45. Larkin up. 7 minutes left to go in this one in regulation. Hornack into the front court. Left side. Over to Schuler. Schuler protects the ball, top of the key. Gets it over right side to Binion. Binion gets hammered by
Good
Pitts.
call. Pitts all over him with the body. He's not happy with it, but he certainly made contact. That is Pitts' first. Both teams now in the bonus as David Binion will go to the line shooting 1 in the bonus. Binion with 9 points. He's made a living at the free throw line today. He's 5 of 8.
Puts the first one up and in.
And of course on a 1-and-1, that's the important one to make. Otherwise you don't get another turn.
Tucker and McGee back in the lineup for Jefferson as Olson and Pitts grab a seat. Got a nice hand from the Jayhawk crowd. A good Jayhawk crowd here tonight from Rockford Jefferson.
Fortunately for them, they've had not much to cheer about tonight.
Nope. And I look across the way, and it's a jam-packed side for the Larkin Royals. Not too many seats open on that far side. Binion's second free throw underway. Rimming, no. Rebound controlled by McGee. McGee over to Gibson. Gibson trots it up in the front court between the rings. Hands it over. No, he didn't. Thought he was going to give it to Lindsay. Gets it over right side to McGee. McGee, lob pass underneath to Lindsay. Lindsay puts it up. Blocked by Brown. But Dotson controls it. Jefferson with the ball. Dotson down low to Tucker. Pull-up jumper is in. Nice pull-up jumper by Tucker from the right side. 68-47. Just over 6 minutes left. Hornack into the front court. Hornack baseline. Delay puts it over to Binion. Binion trying to control it. Pass a little low, but Schuler does. Down low to Hornack, puts it up. Yeah. Nice look by Schuler inside.
Schuler from one knee finds the open man and gets it to him.
Quickly,
no height advantage there.
Quickly down low, Dotson. Dotson quadruple teamed, and Binion blocks it out, but it's a foul inside.
David Binion showing some athletic ability there, jumping way from far out over the top. Got the block, but got him with the body as well.
It's only his first personal. Going to send Dotson to the line again. Larkin up by 23. If we get a timeout somewhere down the line here, we'll bring you up to date on some of the other action going on in Class AA, as well as talk a little bit about St. Ed's, the Class A team in the Elgin area. They're going in the Byron sectional tonight. Dotson puts it up and in. Hornack trots it up with a 22-point advantage. Gets it over to Palmer. Palmer pressured by Lindsay. Back out to Hornack. Hornack over to Brown. Right side, Binion. Binion right side, jam. David Binion. That's what the crowd came to see. Tucker puts it up. McGee, no. Palmer with the rebound. Tucker grabs it. Palmer thought he got fouled, no call. Dotson, left side. Dotson, long jumper.
This crowd's still buzzing.
McGee with the rebound. They're going to call a foul on Rockford Jefferson, it looks like. Because you're right, Joe. The crowd is still buzzing. As foul called on Lindsay. That's his third. Hornack at the line for Larkin, an 81% free throw shooter on the season.
Just trying to make out what the crowd's been yelling. I think it was just David Binion.
Well, he is the crowd favorite here. Hornack makes the first one. No, he doesn't. Oh, right to Binion. Binion tapped it right out to the ref. So it's Jefferson ball. Larkin up 73-48. Gibson in the front court. Gibson free throw line, puts it up and in. Gibson, a 41% shooter from the field. He's having a pretty good night tonight. Hornock sends everybody down low as he clears the path. Gets it over to Binion. Binion looks for that baseline opening, didn't get it. Here's Hornock on the trailer, puts it up and in. Nice give and go. Hornock down the lane, 75-50. Quickly, Jefferson in the front court. Gibson, right side. Fakes the tray, puts it up inside to McGee, puts it up. Blew the layup. McGee came all over Simpson, no call. Here's Binion. Binion passes back to Brown. Brown inside to Palmer, forget it. They're going to call a foul inside on Gibson.
Gibson, the only player back to stop the break, 3-on-1. He decided the best thing to do was to go ahead and take the foul, put Brown at the line.
That break developed in a hurry.
Well, Hornock's pass for Binion, if he would have hit him on the numbers, he would have had another dunk. Threw it a little bit wide. Binion saved it, did the bounce pass to Brown, then Brown got fouled.
Did you see that pass, though, behind the back?
No look.
No look, just behind the back. Pitts, Bennett. Let's see, who else did we catch into the lineup here as the Rockford Jefferson crowd has a nice hand for Tucker as well as McGee. Both come back on the bench. Free throw missed, but Binion puts it in. 77-50. Larkin up, Bennett in the front court. Down low to Box. Box fakes the jumper, puts it up, no good. Foul called inside.
Foul's going to be against Palmer, but Palmer doesn't like the call. Box was way off balance and leaned into him as he was going into the basket.
For Palmer, that's his third personal. Box going to the line. Box, an 80% free throw shooter.
Missed his only 2 attempts back in the first quarter. Gets the roll that time.
I tell you, credit Rockford Jefferson. Came into this game with a record of 12 wins and 15 losses. They are not playing like a 12 and 15 ball club. They're playing much, much better. Second free throw also in. Larkin is just that good. They have so many weapons to attack you with. Hornock double teamed. Down to Brown, free throw line, pull-up jumper is in. Chris Brown extends the lead to 27, 79-52. Under 4 minutes left to go, fourth quarter. Bennett, left side over to Box. Box, left baseline, pull-up jumper, air ball. Hornock has it. Hornock quickly over into Brown. Brown, right side, lays it up and in. Chris Brown on the break, right side, 81-52.
Brown with 14 on the game.
Gibson between the rings as Coach Ed Harriman's going to empty his bench. Long three-pointer off the side, no good. Brown dribbles up into the front court. Bounce pass left side to Binion. Binion fakes and travels.
Binion was looking for the baseline move to the basket for another dunk attempt. Was cut off. He tried to take it back the other way, lost control of the ball a little bit. Took the extra step.
Spitzer and Winters back in the lineup for Rockford Jefferson. And Binion's going to grab a seat. Schuler back in the lineup. Nice hand for David Binion. All set to go here. Refs making sure there's 5 on a side. We're just about set to go with the final 3:22.
Well, Coach Harriman might have tried to get away with throwing a 6-man, figuring maybe at least he could cut the lead down a little bit.
Ooh, that was an alley-oop that almost went in.
Would have been a nice 3-point alley-oop pass.
Schuler tries to control left side, reverse layup. Traveled. Another kid in the ball game for Rockford Jefferson we neglected to mention before, Matt Kelso, a 6'2 junior forward for the Jayhawks. Number 45, Winters, right baseline, dumps it inside to Kelso, puts it up and in. 81-54.
Well, he probably knew that you weren't saying his name. He had to get on the board to get on the air.
You got it. You got it. Brown, left side, over to Schuler. Schuler puts it over right side behind the back pass to Ziesmer. Back over to Simpson. Simpson to Schuler. Schuler dishes inside, puts it up and in. Schuler. 83-54.
And Schuler with 14 points now. Nice spin move to the basket.
Spitzer puts it up, a running jumper.
Spitzer's been relatively quiet tonight. It's just 12 for him, but a very quiet 12.
Hornock, left side to Simpson, now between the rings to Brown. You figure pretty soon, Brown loses his footing, but still controlled his dribble. Ziesmer, left side, dishes back over to Simpson, and they're going to call a traveling call on Ziesmer. Ziesmer thought at least he got fouled. No call there.
I heard a slap over here, but it must have been himself hitting it.
Jason Gorlewski into the lineup for Rockford Jefferson.
And Charles Asp checks in for the Royals.
And Dan Engel checks in as well. So Larkin's starting to bring the bench out, get some experience. Pitts, long jumper, Ziesmer with the rebound. Over to Simpson, left side. Simpson lays it up and in. Simpson from the left side, 85-56. Simpson with the steal. Reverse layup, no good. Foul called inside. I think if that thing went in, this place would go bananas.
Simpson, knowing that he had 18, I'm sure at this point, wanted to get up to 20 points.
Yep.
Went for the steal in the break. He'll get 2 shots at the line here.
Don't laugh. Some guys keep track of that. They know how many points they've got, how many rebounds. Some of those guys keep track of that stuff. Simpson, first free throw, no good. Simpson is 67% free thrower on the year. Sherrick with the second one. Underway. And into the lineup, Casey Wagner as Greg Hornock grabs a seat. Also, Jason Sellers into the lineup as Simpson grabs a seat. So the Larkin lineup has Ziesmer, Charles Asp, you have Sellers, Engel, and Wagner.
As the fans in front of us step up so that we can't see who's up in front of, or who's on the court.
Pitts with the long jumper, grabbed away from Wagner. Bennett puts it up and in.
So Bennett gets the steal and the bucket. He'll go to the line.
Guess they're going to call that on Charles Asp, it looks like. For Asp, that'll be his first personal. Sends Bennett to the line. We're going to bring you the championship plaque, the regional championship plaque after this ball game. So stay with us here on the Intercable. Pitts tries to get it inside, blocked away. Bennett, rebound. Scrabble for it. There's Wagner, puts up a brick, no good. Rebound, Ziesmer. Ziesmer tries to control it. Back over to Engel. Engel, bounce pass down low, they're gonna call a foul inside. 56 seconds left to go.
Fans looking to try to get the reserves a chance to get on the board, get everybody up off their seat when the shots are going up.
Foul's gonna be called on Kelso. That's his first personal as number 43, Damon Hargrove, a 6-foot senior, comes into the lineup for the final minute of play for Rockford Jefferson this year. Engel at the line for the 1-and-1. First shot up, yep. Engel, a 50% free throw shooter. Second shot up, and that's in.
Well, he's hit 1,000% tonight, Paul.
That's right.
And a wild pass. Here's a breakaway.
Here's Sellers. Oh, didn't jam it. Couldn't quite get high enough. Winters into the front court. Dishes off to Pitts. And they're going to rule that it just went off of a Larkin ball player. Didn't see a Larkin ball player, but
no white shirts in the area, but anyhow. So. In the old days, Paul, that one might have taken down the backboard at the other end. With the rims give a little bit. They didn't do that in the old days, but Sellers got all of it.
Hargrove with the jumper left side. Rebound controlled by Engel. Engel, 1-on-1. Right side, yeah. Danny Engel, first basket of the night. He's got 4 on the night. 25 seconds left to go. Winters in the front court. Winters dishes off. Thrown by Wagner.
They've got Asp on the breakaway. Asp, the tallest player on that court.
Charles Asp. And the crowd goes bananas as Winters dishes inside to Pitts. Pitts brings it back out. Against Ziesmer. Pitts puts it up and in. 1 second. That's the ball game. The final score. The Larkin Royals 92. The Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks 60. With the victory, Larkin advances with a record of 25 wins and 3 losses. Rockford Jefferson with the loss. Their record now 12 wins and 16 losses as they end their season. As the handshakes go all around, good sportsmanship between the Larkin Royals and the Rockford Jefferson Jayhawks. As Rockford Jefferson heads to the locker room and Larkin awaits the presentation of the championship plaque. This was the regional final tonight. With the victory, they will play the winner of the Rockford-Guilford Crystal Lake South game. And that'll be coming up next week. You can see that game, of course, on the Jones Intercable as we'll follow the Larkin Royals. Here's the trophy, the plaque presentation. The plaque is given to the Larkin Royals. Larkin, the #1 seed, will advance as you see Schuler and every Larkin player touching the plaque as they will now advance against the winner of Rockford-Guilford Crystal Lake South. Rockford-Guilford, the #4 ranked team. Crystal Lake South, the #5 ranked team. That ought to be a good ball game as well. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll have one of the stars of the Larkin Royals with us for our post-game show. Stay with us on the Jones Intercable. High School, the final score here, Larkin 92 and Rockford Jefferson 60. With us on our post-game show, one of the stars, again, David Binion. David wearing the basketball hoop, basketball netting. Good job today, sir. How was it out there?
It was it was fun.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a tough game, but we pulled it out.
What was the key to this ball game tonight from your perspective?
Our defense, guarding the three-pointer, and just solid defense.
Uh-huh. Anything that impressed you about the Jayhawks tonight?
Their shooting, really. They had some very good shooters.
Mm-hmm. What causes it sometimes? We notice sometimes that Larkin has a tendency of falling asleep a little bit. There was that little tendency in that third quarter where you only outscored Rockford Jefferson by 2. The previous 2 quarters you outscored them by 12. It seems to be a tendency. Are you uncomfortable with that? Because that could be a risk sometimes as you go on in the tournament here.
Yeah, we do have a few letdowns, but we usually get ourselves together, and those letdowns can hurt, but we usually control them.
Okay. What was Coach Kamada's reaction at halftime? What did he tell you guys at halftime?
That we had to get ourselves together and stick to our defense and just keep playing well.
Okay. You have 6 players from last year's ball club that are on here, 3 of which are starters on this club. You think that's a key to your success so far this year?
Yes, it is. I think having the experience and with the starters, it helps us a lot.
What did it feel like getting that plaque again?
It felt real good.
Well, congratulations, David. I know we don't want to keep you because you've got a lot of players here to wish you well and things like that. So We welcome you, and we congratulate you on a fine victory and the regional final.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more post-game right after this. Oh, Larkin again victorious tonight over Rockford Jefferson. My guest here, Greg Hornock, one of the star forwards of the Larkin Royals. Greg, according to you, what was the key to tonight's ballgame?
Well, the key was we got the ball at the court, and we executed, and we finished up the plays on our fast break, and we capitalized on all fast break opportunities and played excellent defense.
You guys were tough on the fast break tonight, and we noticed that Rockford Jefferson wanted to maybe slow the game down. You look at the previous score for Rockford Jefferson, you saw that they won 117-82 over Crystal Lake Central. What kind of went through your guys' minds when you saw that score come up in the paper?
Well, obviously, when you see a score of that amount, you know they're going to put it up. And actually, at the start of the game, they really did put it up. They were jumping up threes, from all over the place, and they were taking it to us. But we stayed with it, played good defense, and pushed the ball up the court, got easy baskets off them.
Have you guys been talking about the sectional pairings? Is there any team that you feel that could really be competitive speed-wise against you guys coming down the road here?
Oh, the next two games are vitally important to us, and both of them could take us down, and we got to be ready for them. Both, I think it's going to be Rockford Guilford and then Rockton Hononegah, which we faced last year. And they're an excellent team. We got to be aware of Ryan Hoover, and both of those teams will push the ball up the court, and we've scouted them a bunch, and we know what they're going to do, but we'll be ready for them.
One of the things that impresses me as part of the Larkin broadcast team here is the fact that you guys have so many weapons to dish with. You've got Binion inside, Greg Hornock right here. May not get all the prints sometimes. You do a quiet bit of scoring. You're the guy that kind of leads the team, like the silent quarterback type a little bit, but you're also a definite threat inside. A lot of teams maybe only go one-dimensional, but your team has many dimensions.
Well, mainly my job is to get the ball and distribute the ball to all the guys and make sure everybody gets their shots and keep everybody happy. You got Sean and Schuler, who are excellent outside shooters, and David and Chris and Sherrick inside are unbelievable. And so I just got to make sure everybody gets the ball, and my shots come when they are, and I'm a junior, and I got time next year.
That's right. That's right. Were you on the starting team
last
year? Yes, I was. And how does it feel to be ranked #1 in the sectional complex?
Well, it feels great. It was the same feeling last year, but we got a different outlook this year. Last year, it was a surprise what we were doing. It didn't surprise me, but what was coming, it had never happened to us before. This year, we're expected to do it, and we do believe we can do it, and we will do it.
All right. Good luck to you against the winner of Rockford Guilford, Crystal Lake South. And I see there's a lot of fans out there waiting for you, so we'll let you get back to the locker room and rest up and get you prepared for the winner.
Thank you.
We'll take a break right here, and we'll be back with head coach Dom Kamada in a few moments. Back here at Larkin High School, Paul Epic with you, along with head coach Dominic Canada. Again, the final score 92-60. Larkin, a big win over Rockford Jefferson. Coach, what was the key to tonight's ballgame?
Well, I think it was our defense, first of all, because they were going to rely on a three-point shot and try to beat us down the floor. So we contested all their three-point shots, and then from there we gave them one shot and we rebounded. I thought we did an excellent job on the boards. And then we outletted the ball, and then we beat them down the floor.
Were you kind of surprised about the speed of Rockford Jefferson tonight?
No, they scored 117 points in their last game, so we knew that they could score quite a few points. So we had to contest their three-pointers, like I said, and then when we had to set up half court, we had to slow the game down a little bit, make them play a little defense, and catch our breath a little bit and try to score.
What was the key to the game for you guys as far as Larkin is concerned?
Well, I think we got, in the last 5 games, we've had very quick starts, and we've controlled the tempo of the game right from the beginning of the game, and we did that tonight. We played good defense, and we scored a lot of points early.
You didn't have tonight the lapse that sometimes you see a Larkin ball club have, like for a quarter. You didn't really see that tonight.
No, we had a little bit of a lapse at the end of the second quarter, but we've really been talking about that a lot to keep our intensity up and our concentration. And the last 5 games, our average, the differential has been like 31 points. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to maintain that distance to make sure the other team doesn't get back in the game.
You are the #1 seed. You're playing the winner of Rockford Guilford and Crystal Lake South. Have you had a chance of thinking about that as to what how you're going to match up?
Well, I know Guilford is a rather large team. They've got some big players, and they've got some very quick guards. Crystal Lake South is smaller, a little more balanced. So it presents a different type of problem depending on who wins the game. But I think we'll be ready for either one of them.
Well, we'll see what happens down the road, as of course the Jones Intercable will be covering that ball game for you, and we wish you a lot of luck down the road. You know, are you keeping track of the Rock Island sectional as to who's advancing through there?
Yeah, we're watching that. You know, we don't want to get too optimistic. You know, we've got to take one game at a time, but we are watching that to see who's winning. And I think the key for us right now is Sherrick Simpson comes off the bench and plays outstanding. I mean, Chris Brown is the top of his game right now. David Binion is just playing like a madman. Our guards are shooting well, and Greg Hornock's handling the ball, and then Sherrick Simpson comes in, and he's high scorer tonight with 19 points.
Is it true that Palmer and Binion had the flu bug a little bit today?
Today was David's first day back to school since the first regional game.
Oh.
He's had a temperature for the last 2 days. He only came in for 4 periods today, and I didn't even know if he'd be able to play. But he had an outstanding game, and Sean Palmer's been sick also. So our 2 leading scorers have been sick the last 2 days.
Because Palmer has been down, and Schuler had an off night the night before. Tonight he was right on track.
Right on track, and he filled in those 3-pointers when we needed them, because in the beginning of the game they took Chris Brown and David Binion away by sagging in, and they wanted us to hit the 3-pointer. And we did that early. It opened up the game, and we were able to get the ball inside. So,
well, Coach, congratulations again on a fine victory again. Larkin, the winner, 92-60. And we'll catch you at the whoever plays either Rockford, Guilford, or Crystal Lake South. Hopefully we'll do it again
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday night.
We'll be ready to go.
All right.
Thank you.
Head coach Tom Kamada, the head coach of the Larkin Royals. We'll be back to wrap it up for the final time right here on the Jones Intercable.
You may not think the gas you can save makes a difference, or the amount your whole neighborhood can save.
For Jefferson Jayhawks, the leading scorer in the game, Reggie Gibson with 20 points, Jeff Spritzer with 12, Brandon Box had 8, and we had Lee Pitts and Robert Tucker with 4 apiece, Chris Bennett and Lewis Dotson off the bench with 3 apiece, and Matt Kelso and Steve Lindsay with a bucket each one for their 60. For the Larkin Royals, who move on now with improving their record to 25-3, the leading scorer, Sherrick Simpson, off the bench with 19. Then quite a balanced attack, 14 points apiece between Sean Palmer, Matt Schuler, David Binion, and Christopher Brown. Greg Hornock chipped in with 9. Dan Engel off the bench at the latter part of the game came in with 4. Kendrick Thomas and Charles Asp with an impressive dunk at the end with 2 apiece for the 92. Again, the final score 92-60. Larkin moving on to the sectionals.
That's right. Moving on to the sectionals, they will play the winner of Rockford, Guilford, Crystal Lake South, and we will be here on that Tuesday night of next week. But you will see that. Hopefully you will join us here on the Jones Intercable. The executive director tonight for Jones Intercable and WESC Television Sports is Rich Hirschberg. Our cameras are Chad Plasmeyer and Irvin Holly. The audio is Lester Holz. The graphics, Aaron Oddie. And for Joe Quinlan, I'm Paul Epic saying so long from Larkin High School, where tonight Larkin is victorious 92-60. So long, everybody.